I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Welcome to Grassroots Business Journal, where talking small business links to social media. I'm your host, Paul Wilusz. Today, our guest is Congressman John Larson from the 1st Congressional District, which includes Hartford, Manchester, and Bristol. Congressman, pleasure to meet you here today.
Good to be with you again, Paul.
Good. The last time that we were talking, we had a little bit more from the national standpoint
Sure.
and what was
Sure.
happening there. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that that are really happening pretty much locally at this point inside here. And one of which was the means of communication coming out to the district. What initiatives have you used to get the word out, especially for small businesses, and also so that constituency will know what's happening in
Well, we do
Washington?
a variety of things, Paul. Of course, we have regular forums, Congress on the Corner. We meet on a regular basis, at particular businesses within the district, et cetera, and primarily to promote an agenda about job growth, and which, as we said in the last segment, I think holds the key to what we need to do to get this economy back running. And because, as we mentioned in the previous segment, Washington has been in gridlock, it can't stop you from focusing on your district and everything that can be done.
Okay.
So first, what we try to do is make sure that we're posting always and holding seminars, whether it be with the Small Business Administration or whether it be with the Department of Labor or Transportation, that there's an opportunity for us to make sure that small businesses in the area know how they can be connected, know what they can do locally in order to become more a part of this economy. We do a number of forums that have focused on manufacturing and what is some of the training that we need to do with people. And how do we fast track that training by providing optimal opportunities for both the employer and the employee. And it's everything from helping and assisting them with resume writing to actually doing speed interviews with all the companies. And by bringing them, instead of having a jobs fair, have a fair where people are there actually where you're going through an interview process and you have 10 or 20 companies or manufacturers. And then our goal was either to have somebody who had the skills and lining them up with the right company, or someone who may be short the skills, getting them the training that they need, or someone who may further say, hey, that's a whole new area that I'd like to go into and pursue, and set them on a longer trajectory in terms of education and training. But training that workforce. And then most recently, we did with United Technologies, with the IAM, and with Goodwin College, we formed a partnership, collaboration along these lines that said, look, United Technologies is one of the best employers in the region.
Right.
I don't know if all your listeners are aware, but this past year they exceeded the $1 billion mark in terms of money they provide their employees to further their education in any subject matter.
Wow.
But not only do they allow them to further their education, and obviously they hope they do it in their areas of expertise at United Technologies, but they also give them the time off to study for their final exam and pay for their books. There is no company in the country that does this.
That's right.
Now,
That's right.
we also have an aging population of machinists and people that want to get into the field but lack the skills. And machine tooling is taking another quantum leap. It's going into the future. So what we did is we called upon Goodwin College and the Connecticut Center for Advanced Technology that has the laser training and all the right aptitudes and the credentialing, as well as the reading, writing, arithmetic, and knowing your basics. How is it that we're going to create this workforce of the future? And present opportunities for both the existing working group to go further their education, which in the case of United Technologies, they pay for, and people at General Dynamics are looking into as well, to Goodwin College, where they develop a curriculum based on laser technology, based on the kind of skills and credentialing to make the aerospace and submarine parts of the future that will be required. Now, this has us lining up in a way that gives everybody both the opportunity to enhance their skills, further their education, and get the credentialing that they need, and then provides the employer with the highly skilled, highly trained workforce that we need. By having this here and focusing on this nucleus, what we do, not only for United Technologies and General Dynamics, what we're sending a message to the whole country is, and to the region is, you want a workforce that's highly trained, highly skilled, highly proficient, and most efficient in its outcome, come to Connecticut.
Come here.
Come here. And that's what people need, and that's what that's the constructive things that you can do, even in the midst of the obvious gridlock that's gone on down in Washington, as we talked in the last segment, for ideological reasons that defy common sense. It's a time when we should be investing in the public, should be doing this. So it also positions us to enable us better to get grants. We also do something,
I was going to mention about that, about the grant newsletter that you
Yes.
had that comes out on your network. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Yes, and what we do is we post this on a monthly basis. We send out the grants that the federal government, is where you can connect with the federal government from numerous agencies, et cetera. And then our office helps you to try to interface with the federal government.
Okay.
And when you add to that the forums that we do and the constructive projects, whether it be in collaboration with Goodwin College, the IAM, and United Technologies, and the Connecticut Center for Advanced Technology, or whether they be with the Labor Department and forums that we've conducted, and capital workforce development and others. These are the opportunities, or special SBA forums that we've held for small businesses. And then culturally, whether it's been with SAMA in the South End, whether it's been in the North End of Hartford, et cetera, making sure that we're trying to reach into those pockets and create the niche development that is so vitally important to small business. Healthcare today is 18% of our gross domestic product. It is the most inefficient business model in the world. There is an estimated 700 to 800 billion annually that is wasted in inefficiencies, in fraud, in abuse, of duplication of effort. And by bringing to bear the best of the entrepreneurial sector, our innovation and technology, and all that's good about the public sector as well, we drive down those costs. Now, the national debt as a percentage of our gross domestic product is just under 4%. We're at 18%. So imagine we drive that 18% down under 14%.
Okay.
And we no longer have a national debt.
That's right.
Further, if the rest of the world is at 8 or 9% in terms of what they spend in healthcare, we're at 18. If we drive it down further, we also take care of the debt ceiling, take care of the sequester, take care of the national debt as an issue. And we have the money then to invest in infrastructure and all the things we talked in the previous segment, and continue to invest in the American people. If we invest in the American people, in our education process, in our creativity and innovation, give Americans the room, give them the incentive, and then get out of the way and watch this economy explode. But if you curtail the investment,
That's right.
sequester it, don't invest anything in the infrastructure, and then say that's how we're gonna improve the economy. How?
How? Exactly.
How?
Exactly.
It's like those who have said, well, who again, and listen, I understand if people are, don't want to support the Affordable Care Act, which is derisively called Obamacare, but I'd say two things. If not that, what's your solution?
That's right.
Don't tell me about all the, why you don't like it. And if you don't like it, you're not going to go back to the way it was, where 44 million people weren't insured, and that the costs were all being, through the emergency room, shoveled onto everybody in the middle class. The middle class is already overburdened with hidden costs.
That's right.
So this was a goal to lighten the burden on the middle class and to present us with an opportunity to drive down that cost at 18% so that we can put the country back to work innovatively in the areas that we know we can succeed at best. And I'm proud of what, the Aetna, Cigna, what the Blue Cross, Blue Shield are doing. It's we have a number of great, companies here that are doing great. And our hospitals, they're all moving in the same area as well.
Okay.
So these are going to present greater opportunities in the economy, greater opportunities for entrepreneurialism,
Okay.
greater opportunity for individual innovation in a number of fields, but healthcare being chief among them.
Okay. Wanted to ask you about a little bit on the congressional delegation here from
Sure.
Connecticut and your relationship with them.
Sure.
And I know that you've also been working with Rosa DeLauro from down in New Haven. Talk a little bit about the relationship with the delegation and some of the initiatives that you're working together with.
The delegation works extraordinarily well together. And while our two United States senators have only been there, Chris Murphy served in the House first, and Dick Blumenthal has a distinguished career as Attorney General. And while they've been there for only 3 years in the Senate, they bring a vast amount of experience to that process. And in the House, Elizabeth Ethsty from the 5th Congressional District, Jim Himes from the 4th, Rosa from the 3rd, and Joe Courtney from the 2nd, and myself all work together. But to be honest, whether it was Republican or Democrat, because we're such a small state, it's important that we work together. And then we coordinate activities both around our committee assignments, which are vitally important to making sure we're on the right committees. They're going to help Connecticut out. And I think we've done a terrific job at doing that. Rosa's on the Appropriations Committee. I'm on the Ways and Means Committee. Joe Courtney is on the Armed Services Committee and Education and Labor. Jim Himes is on the Financial Services Committee. Elizabeth Esty is on the Transportation Committee. So every single vital area to Connecticut, we have a representative. And Rosa and I are senior on our respective committees, and so that helps us out as well. Okay. I also want to credit the whole delegate. Everybody works well together, but Rosa and I, as we were discussing earlier, had a forum this past week, and where we were focused specifically on the title of it is "When Women Succeed, America Succeeds." And the focus here is to come up with a comprehensive program to address the pay inequity that exists for women and the unique needs that women have in the work environment, primarily childcare, and then how we deal with family and medical leave, and how we integrate these systems in a way that it works well for everybody. You got to create situations that are win-win-win for both the employer, the employee, and the innovator, and the person that's going to get out there and be the job creator. And, these inequities have to be addressed. I mean, when, a female earns 77 cents for every dollar a male earns, there's a disparity that exists there.
Exactly.
We'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of President Kennedy passing the pay equity law and establishing a commission to look at equity amongst women in the workforce. And there still is this huge gap that exists. And so the matter has to be addressed comprehensively. Joe Courtney works together. We collaborate on all of the defense issues that the state of Connecticut faces. We're a large defense manufacturer. We have, in the 1st District, when you have Hamilton Standard, when you have Command, when you have, United Technologies, when you have Pratt & Whitney aircraft, when you're building the F-35, the Joint Strike Fighter, when you're building the tanker, they've developed commercially the PW-4000, when you have Sikorsky, when you have General Dynamics, and you're working on a second sub. You know, forever Connecticut is trying to get a second sub. We finally got that. When we banded together as a delegation to fight to make sure we won the tanker battle, meaning we got the award, meaning our companies got the award to build the tanker. These are 30 and 40-year contracts, respectively, that we have. That secures the manufacturing base well into the future. And it's not just, as we said in the previous segment, Paul, it's not just the employees at those companies, but it's their supply chain, it's their supply base. It's all the small manufacturers, et cetera, and we're loaded with them in the 1st Congressional District, and I meet with them on a regular basis, and we're excited about the prospects that we've been able to do by working together. Elizabeth Esty on transportation and high-speed rail initiatives, and our harbors and our airports, and as I said, we bring up, we try to work across the aisle. That's why I brought up Bill Schuster, a Republican up here, and it's why in human resources we brought up people here so that we look at what I hope will be a national park at Coltsville.
Okay.
Which will also be a job creator, both not in tourism, but also in the refurbishing of that building and bringing it back the luster and quality that was the center of the American Industrial Revolution. So Connecticut's been a manufacturer leader for a long time. It's been part of our DNA.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, as I said, we have a lot to talk about, but we have to end it at some point. And at this particular point in time, I would like to thank Congressman John Larson for coming on the program here today. It was a pleasure. Always good talking to you. We got to have it. We have to have another one.
Look forward to coming back.
Good. And again, please, if you have questions or anything that you want to talk to the congressman about or anything, call his office. Well, they're well to hear your concerns and whatever. I have firsthand knowledge of that. And again, that the Congressman, it's been a pleasure having you here today.
Paul, a pleasure to talk with you always. And it's 860-278-8888. Pretty easy.
There you go. Until we meet again, keep talking business. I'm Paul Wilusz, your host for Grassroots Business Journal. Have a good day.